PFC, Stephen John Poulos, United States Army, World War II. Stephen's another one of my D-Day veterans, one of the first D-Day veterans I interviewed in the state of Utah. August 17, 2003, Holiday, Utah. I was at Stephen's home, met his wife, Billy, and just had a great time with him, sat down. One of the first D-Day stories I had. He was with the infamous 29th Infantry Division, second wave into Omaha Beach, June 6, 1944, folks. As a young man, he saw a lot. Many drowned getting out of those Higgins boats, those LCVPs. He made it ashore, but he had to cut off all the pack and everything in the water to avoid drowning himself. He was actually a champion swimmer in high school in Utah, but just a great man. And he was shot 5 times by a German machine gun during his time in France after the Normandy invasion. 5 times shot, and that was the end of his Army days, and he was sent home eventually. Hospitalized, I think, for like a year and a half with his wounds, Purple Heart, several other medals, and just a great guy. He was a machine gunner on Omaha Beach, and I just love this man. And tragically, we lost Stephen. He was in his late 70s when I interviewed him, and a couple years later, in his own home, he was robbed and shot in the back, and he was killed. Very tragic. It was a very, very sad story. I was very saddened when I heard about this, but he's an American war hero, folks. He's one of the reasons why we've had our freedoms, and I just want us to just take a moment and just say a prayer for his family, maybe, and just thank him for his service. I know he's looking down on us, and but it was a tragic ending. He was shot, like I said, 5 times by a German machine gun, and he lived through that just to be shot in his own home many years later. But I'm happy to bring this story to you on my Voices of History YouTube channel, and it will be on my radio station. The 80th anniversary of D-Day is 2 weeks from today from this broadcast. The 80th anniversary. I was there at the 60th. I was there in the 59th anniversary, twice during 2004. I was in Normandy, holy ground, the beach of Normandy, and Utah Beach, and it was just an amazing, amazing trip, and it's a part of my 2 films that I have. I'm going to be airing D-Day stories from June 5th, 6th, and 7th on my Voices of History radio channel. And I've created a playlist here in the video description of this video. Going forward, you'll have a playlist of the D-Day stories. So if you want to just sit back and really learn about the Normandy invasion, D-Day, I would invite all of you to do that, and your children, grandkids, to learn about the history over almost 80 years ago now, that D-Day invasion. So this was the first love of my work. My veterans that I interviewed in Arizona, and I went to Utah, Colorado, and other places, and it just, these were the first stories. This is when I was really doing it, man. I was doing 5 interviews a day and just crisscrossing the valley in Phoenix for 2 weeks, and then just became obsessed with these stories, as you will see. I saw Saving Private Ryan. It was a very gruesome introduction to a movie, but you know, as one of my D-Day veterans said, the American public couldn't really stomach what happened on Omaha Beach, and I agree with that. Hollywood cannot depict it. As bad as that movie was, if you want to say it like that, they crossed the beach in 20 minutes. That's Hollywood, okay? But these were the real stories. I wanted to get the real stories from the real people that were there, the young men that were there, and I was successful in that. You're going to see Stephen Poulos' story now. Thank you for watching these videos, subscribing to this channel, and sharing these videos. It means a great deal to me, folks. And I'm going to start sharing more of these D-Day stories as we get closer to the 80th anniversary in a couple of weeks. So, history is best learned from those that were there. God bless these veterans that have served and are serving our country today, and will continue to fight for our freedoms as they fought for our freedoms. Amen. God bless you. First thing I want you to do, and now I know who you are, but just tell me, give me a little introduction of who you are, your name, and the unit you were with over during the Normandy invasion.
The Normandy invasion, the 29th Division, and it was in the morning of D-Day, What should I say?
Okay, what I want you to do is now. Were you with the 116th? Were what?
Oh, with this one,
You were a machine gunner.
I was a machine gunner,
What was your outfit?
a 30-30 caliber, 20-30, 20-30 infantry, and we hit the beach, second wave, not the first wave, the second wave, then the third wave, and the fourth wave. But I got on. Well, I was there.
Okay, here's what I want you to do now. Just kind of slow down and just back as best you can remember is tell me about the actual night before, your preparations for going to Normandy. You were on a transport ship and then you got off onto the smaller landing craft. Tell me that story.
We were on a transport ship going across the English Channel, June the 4th, and we were out on the ship. We didn't know where we were going. We thought we were going to Russia or somewhere to invade. And then we had orders from General Eisenhower that we were going to invade France, Normandy. And we were all upset. And here comes the French money. And they warned us that we're all going to France, which was suicide to me. We were all afraid, scared, and we were bubbling on the ocean for 2 days while General Eisenhower was trying to make a decision when to invade, on the 4th or the 5th or the 6th. So he came on the 6th that they put us on the line barges off the ship and put us onto the line barges, and they sent us in. And there were mines all over the place, so the guy in the Navy got excited, and everything was going in the air. All the ships, or the landing craft, were actually being hit by the mines. So he stopped the boat and says, "Okay, boys, out." So we all bubbled out. Half of them drowned.
Now, when you were in the landing craft, you had come down the cargo nets from the transport ship into the landing craft, and you went in on the second wave.
Yes.
Now, I wasn't there, so help me. Just what were you seeing? What were you thinking? I mean, were you thinking about what was going to happen to you? Did you think
this is real? I said, this is real. What we were taught was real, and it was happening, and we didn't know how we were going to come out of this, but you know, when you take orders from the government, you got to go. So we went in, and I almost drowned. Go ahead.
Before you hit the beach,
Yeah.
you were in a Higgins boat, an LCV boat?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to shore.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the machine gun fire, the artillery. Was it coming in on you at that
It was
point?
all coming down like lightning. Everything was coming down, and we were almost naked because we lost our gear in the water to survive. I lost my machine gun in the water, and I had to disrobe in the water so I could swim to the beach. And then went to the beach without no weapons, and grabbed a gun from a dead soldier, our soldier, and tried to figure this thing out, how to survive and who to hit. And we had to wait for the Navy ships to hit the beaches, so it'd be easier for us to go in.
Yeah, I'm looking at a headline here. It says, "Vet recounts horror of suicide beach."
We didn't yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you're 19 years old. I mean, I don't know if they can prepare or train you for what you saw, but as a young man, how do you stay focused on your mission and then the compassion part of you that wants to stop and help those who are being injured. I mean, how did you stay focused on your work and what you're doing?
When you go around, you just don't stop. You just keep on going, and until you drop. That's how bad it was that day. They were upon us, and we had to get out of there. And we left there 6:30 in the morning, and we were there, and we didn't secure the beach about 8 o'clock at night.
Did you know how bad the beach was going to be before you hit? Had you heard about the first wave? What happened?
We heard nothing. We just went in and go, and did our best.
So did the Navy coxswain driving that landing craft give an order to lower a ramp? Did you go over the side, or what happened?
The landing craft did not go over, but he pulled the gate and said to us, "Go." And all of us went down, and some came up and some stayed.
How about any other landing craft in the area when you're going to shore?
They were going ashore, yes, sir.
Tell me what you remember.
They were going ashore, and they were being blown up from the mines that the American army didn't get. They missed a few. They missed a few mines, and the landing craft hit them, and everything went bananas.
Did you have friends that obviously were lost on that beach?
On the landing craft, yes. We were going in, and we went to the beach. I don't think I knew anybody. They were mostly gone. I'd say half were gone, and the rest we just tried and tried until we got our new weapons the next day, because everything went down the drain when we went off the boat. On the landing craft, we had to survive, so everything had to come off our bodies.
Now tell me specifically, Stephen, what your job was on the beach. You're a machine gunner. Tell me what your job was to have been if you would have had one.
My job on the machine guns was to follow the leader. I always had to follow the leader. He had to tell me where to go, and not only me, but all of us. Hit anything you see. And that was tough. It was either him or me.
So how far inland did you get those first couple hours?
We got in about 5 miles.
Now when you landed, the Germans were shooting machine guns.
Yeah, they were on big cliffs on Omaha Beach. There was Utah Beach and Omaha Beach, and we hit Omaha Beach. And they had a good target on us. And we had to weather that out and get going in there and do the best we could so we could secure the beach. With the help of the Air Force and the Navy, we had 10,000 airplanes that day, 5,000 ships. It was the biggest invasion, or red, that they ever had. But at that time, we never knew nothing. It's all we knew was God had to protect us, or was going to protect us, so we can get going.
You've got to tell me the story about the cross around your neck and when that happened and what the shrapnel that went into your shoulder. Tell me what happened.
On my way in up the beach, I was there June 6th to June the 19th. June the 19th, I was on the St. Lo area, which was Hill 192, and it took 13 days for them to get me. But the cross, we were shooting at hedgerows, which we were taught in England. That's where we were going to do some hedgerow fighting. And we didn't know where we were going till we got that fresh money. And we said, it's a suicide. So we started gambling, and we lost it all. But anyway, June the 19th was the day that I got hit, and with a burp gun, a machine gunner, German machine gunner. And I had the cross on me, and I had the Bible over here. And they got me, and I rolled back, and the sergeant says, there he is. So they got him. And I spent about 3 days on the beach in the hospital until they put me on the boat going back to England to Birmingham General Hospital and spent 6 months there.
And you still got shrapnel in your shoulder?
I have 2 bullets in me. Not shrapnel, but the bullets in the clavicle and the scapula.
Now, why wouldn't they have removed those?
I can't understand why they said it's in the bone and didn't want to interfere because it might paralyze the whole side. So my arm is paralyzed from the shoulder to my elbow. And I'm under treatment still from the VA hospital. Thank God, the VA. So they're taking care of me, and they've been taking care of me for a long time. But the bullet hit the cross and ricocheted. It ricocheted, or else it would have gotten me in the jugular vein. So.
Well, you mentioned that God was protecting you. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean,
He was protecting me. I don't know how. I didn't know how bad I was hit until after, because I was conked out.
let's go back to the landing now.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're on the transport ship. Did you have a breakfast? Did they serve you a meal? Did you?
They served us the best meal in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And they said, boys, Eisenhower is going to okay the deal for June 6th. So be prepared, and God bless you all.
Mm-hmm. So you knew this was it?
This is it.
This is no more practice. You guys.
This is it. We're going in. Weather or not weather. If it turns to hell, we're going in. So we all said, well, he's the boss.
Tell me about getting off. Did you go down the cargo nets into those boats?
You what?
Did you climb down the rope ladders into the landing?
We sure did.
Tell me about the weight of the packs on your back and just how hard that was for you.
We got up in the morning and ate, and we got off those ropes. They put us on the ropes. So now you go down into your boat, and everything weighed up over 200 pounds, 300 pounds. I said, how the heck am I going to make this? Some way we came down the ropes. We all got in there, and we looked at each other. What is this? It's war, I guess. Everything was going crazy. The ships, the airplanes, everything. How I survived, or how we survived, it's a miracle.
Well, I hear a lot of those men had a hard time getting off those nets because of the weather and the boats rocking in the water, and it's kind of
very rocky.
Hard to release from that net into that boat without it dropping.
Very rocky. You try and try and try to get off the ropes, or else if you lost a step, you'd go in the water and it's over.
Did you guys experience any seasickness in that landing craft?
Yes, very much. We did. All sickness was bad. We didn't know what was going on, but we had to hold ourselves, or else we would all go.
Did you see that movie, Saving Private Ryan?
I did see Private Ryan, and it was after 1 year I saw it. They did a great movie. They did a good job, and it brought back a lot of memories.
Did that remind you at all, maybe what it was like on Omaha Beach that morning?
Yes. That show brought me back a lot of memories.
Pretty graphic representation of what happened, but I had one veteran tell me the American public really couldn't stomach what really happened there, even though that movie came out, and it's just something so tremendous happened on that beach. A lot of you guys haven't talked about it for years, and I think just recently you started talking.
I'll never forget about it, because I was there and I saw what was going on with the cliffs and the Germans coming down like lightning on us. And we said, hey, either kill or be killed. And away we went.
But, you know, what still fascinates me is your age then. You guys were so young. You're doing a job that had to be done, and you did it.
19 years old, 19, fresh out of high school. We trained real hard. We didn't know where we were going. And we saw the French money. We said, this is a suicide landing.
Now, tell me why you said that. What gave you reason to say that? I mean,
Because everything was coming from their way. And we knew that if we hit France, it would be a suicide area. We all knew that. But we didn't know we were going there until we got the French money.
now let me ask you a question about being on the beach. I've talked to a lot of men regarding the landing on that beach that day, and they were given orders to continue on even though men were wanting help, that they had to keep going, and a lot of the men, it bothered them because they know they could have, if they would have received help, a lot of those wounded men would have lived. Did you experience anything like that or have that happen?
I experienced 2, 3 people that were dying, and I could not stop. I kept on going. Kept on going. Had to go. If you stop, they'll kill you. So you just kept on going. Go, 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 until you drop.
That's hard. I mean, I have so much respect and admiration for what you guys did. I don't think I could have done it, and you know, and I guess
Well,
thank God I'll never have to do that. But you know,
after a while, you see a lot of your people that are dead or dying, you don't care. You say, here we go. And there we go. Either go or die. Especially that day, it was a terrible invasion. But it had to be done. On the drive to St. Louis on June 19th, I got as far as St. Louis and St. Mary's of the Tribulaires, which was the second battle. And after we got to, after St. Mary's Tribulaires, we went to St. Louis, and thank God that General Patton was there waiting for us to go in and go on. But I didn't see that. June 19th was it.
let me ask you a question, Stephen. I've asked all the veterans that I've interviewed this question. I want you to think about this question I'm going to ask you, okay? Looking back on World War II and the freedoms and the liberties that we have today in our country, if you had a message for young kids regarding, you know, freedom, war, what would you tell a young person today in light of what you went through and all the people that partook in that D-Day invasion? Because, you know, when I look back and the freedoms that I have today, I always reflect back to your generation, because I believe a lot of the freedoms and the liberties that I have today are because of what you did. But a lot of the younger kids don't know about that. So if you had something to say, if you had a message for the kids today about freedom and about World War II, what would you tell them?
That's what it's all about, is to bring back what we went through and what we did for them. And for it not to happen, but for them to think that it wasn't glory, it was it. We did it for America. Because if we didn't do it, they would have been in your doorstep.
You know, I look at war today as being different. It's fought differently today than it was back in World War II.
Yes.
And you referenced the fact that this was the largest amphibious assault ever recorded in history. But at the time you're going through that, you didn't think you didn't realize how big this thing was. You knew it was big, but
You know?
60 years later, almost, we're remembering this event, and specifically the Omaha Beach landing and the sacrifices that were made. And so my next question to you is who do you consider yourself a hero?
No. My heroes are dead. My friends, they are the heroes. I survived. I did my part.
Have you been back to Normandy since you were there?
I was going back about 4 years ago for a new monument. And the money was, that was supposed to be on Omaha Beach in Normandy to build the monument. I call a sneeze. Somebody sneezed it, the money. And the monument was not built. So now they're trying to get a new one going. It might be there now or not, but I never did go back.
You got anything you want to ask? You got a question?
When you went back to France, did you relive the entire thing when you were there, or was it just too difficult?
Can't hear you.
When you went back,
So you didn't go. You didn't actually.
okay,
go
no,
back
he
to
hasn't gone
France.
back. I guess not. I've got a question about. Were you married then?
I was single,
Okay.
thank God.
Well, you know, Stephen, when I hang my flag, I display my flag every day, and for some reason, I always reflect back, like I said, to your generation, and I'm just so thankful for what you've done and the part that everybody had to play. And in my eyes, you are a hero. Now, you won't admit that yourself, but you know what you did, and the sacrifice that you made. I mean, it's just something that I can. Hardly
I did what I had to do to come back. And if you want to call that a hero, that's fine. But like I said, most of my friends were from Salt Lake, 2 or 3 friends. Glenn Standing are gone on the first 2 or 3 days.
Well, let me
Every time somebody got killed, there's Poulos. Standing got it. Poulos, the other guy got it. Well, you're tired of hearing all this. You just keep on going.
This question may sound a little silly, but what does it feel to be shot at? I mean, you're on the beach. I mean, what do you remember about that?
After being shot June the 19th, I felt like electricity was going through my system. I didn't know what hit me, but I bounced back from the hedgerow, and I laid there until they came after me. And the medics came, thank God, and they were there, and they put a cross on my body for the Germans not to touch me. The Germans were good people. I mean, they respected the soldier. The other people that I've heard about, the Japanese, they were different kind of people. But the cross was laying on top of my body, and the Germans were right there, and they said, "Don't touch that man. When you're wounded, you're wounded. Give him a break." That's how I looked at it.
You stay in touch with any of the men that were with you, or are they all dead? Or
One guy in Salt Lake, which is Don McGee, but he came after the landing. They mixed us all up on the boat from England to Normandy. We trained in Normandy for 6 months before the invasion. And also in Wales, England. Wales. They're from Wales and went to England. Coventry was the town that we trained. Coventry. Not too far away from the beach. From the ocean, the English Channel.